Okay, I think it's fine there.
Yes, and I think to everyone, you can hear One clearly, yes? Just give us a thumbs up or a yes if you can hear him clearly. I think you can. All right, so whenever you're ready, take it away, and I'll be here to help you for your Q&A.
All right, okay. Hello, everybody. It's already well known both on my screen and also as per introduced. My name is Wan. It's a pleasure sharing this time with you guys. So today, I'm just going to have an insight on Islamic economy trend. Technically, what we have been doing in PayHalal. We have been going for the past 1 year studying on the Islamic economy trend and also the movement, the target market and the growth in population. Okay, so based on what you can see over here on the global Islamic economy, by 2030 we are looking at population that is going to reach up to 27.5% of the global population with a potential of $3 billion. We are looking at Islamic finance, halal food, halal travel, modest fashion, halal media and recreation, halal pharmaceutical, and halal cosmetic. Of course, the current peak is mostly towards Islamic finance and halal travel. The likes of people going to mostly halal destination. This is both the progress potential and where they are right now. The likes of Indonesia mainly, which is, I would like to say, our closest competitor to a lot of things. They have always been there chasing us, be it on basic economic structure and even Islamic economic structure. So they have 80% of Muslim population, and their target is, which I'll explore further after this, is similar to Malaysia to be the halal hub to not only Southeast Asia but on the Asia level itself. The good news for us is Malaysia is currently the third country with biggest Islamic financial asset in the world. We are sitting at 490 billion. Of course, this is based on 2019 study. We may see a slight different number based on current pandemic issue and also probably with some growth that may have had happened towards early this year. From a World Islamic Economy Report perspective, this was introduced back in 2013. And since 2013, Malaysia has been the first in the indicator score. This indicator score, of course, it stand and look at halal food, halal tourism, modest fashion, halal media and recreation, and halal pharmacy and cosmetic. We have been running even better than Saudi Arabia, and it's no surprise that Saudi is looking at Malaysia as the halal standard base. However, when we look into a breakdown for Malaysia itself, in sense of modest fashion, we are sitting at a fourth. In comparison to halal media and recreation, we are sitting at a fourth, and we are sitting on second on halal pharmaceutical and cosmetic. Islamic finance, we are at the top because we have both conventional and Islamic bank account, and thankfully PayHalal is here, so you have Islamic payment gateway as well. So moving to Islamic economy in Malaysia. So we if minus the pandemic, if the pandemic is not there, it is a known topic that Japan wanted to have a halal hub. It's as simple as this. Quoted, of course, from the ISDB connecting member to Malaysia. Halal, at the end of the day, halal, anybody can have it. Non-halal, specified to a limited number of audience. So we are looking at not only on food perspective, we are looking at both halal and Sharia complying products. So in the sense of Muslim fashion. So naturally, we have the potential to export it further out, not only focus within Malaysia itself. So this is something that with current sale trends, both the SME members and also the startup business can look at mainly. So naturally, of course, in order for us to strengthen this halal network, we need a set of ecosystem, the product export expansion, the cross-border supply and market for further export penetration, which is, of course, current space is quite limited, and building an integrated halal ecosystem that combines all the halal product under one roof. With this sense, it is easier to control and better to move forward. From digital perspective, of course, we're looking at development of halal marketplace, development of Islamic fintech itself, developing startup halal value chain, building integrated one-stop information system for the effectiveness of halal product industry. Of course, naturally, we have the likes of HDC right now that is trying to accumulate and combine all these halal products under one roof, being the main halal hub center. So we need this to be strengthened in order for us to understand where we stand. So looking specifically on Malaysia, we are at the end of the day wanting to be the center of halal excellence and Islamic finance by 2020. The key factor over here, of course, naturally at the end of the day comes from government support. This issue introduced as a national initiative, which I believe is an ongoing progress based on Madrid's work together with ISDB and also Japan for Tokyo Olympic, and also the national strategy, including the renewal of government structure and community paradigm. So at the end of the day, we are looking at from not only from Asian perspective but global perspective. We are looking at few countries that is starting to focus on halal and Islamic Sharia compliant products. We are looking at the factors that not only being food, we are going beyond food. We are going towards cosmetic. We are going towards poultry supply. We are looking at meat supply, and we are the biggest target, the biggest view that we have is looking at Islamic finance and halal kitchen in the world. So naturally, at the end of the day, how we put it is, if we are able to connect back with our cross-border supply that we can work out with, we may able to export the likes of, we are looking at the likes of sambal belacan, local delicacies, to be exported and further expanding the horizon for those SME companies that is dealing with this halal product. We are far beyond halal being a want, and we are entering into a phase where both halal and Sharia compliance being the necessity. So we are looking at not only digital banking, but we are looking at other stuff such as modest fashion mainly. So the likes of our fashion product has been increasing with the growth of dark. Not only that, with recent PKP, we have identified quite a number of entrepreneurs being able to be both reseller and also the main seller. So I think our current target to look at, of course, at the end of the day, is to move to a bigger customer audience prospect, and which is at current trend, we are looking at both halal and Sharia compliant perspective. And of course, naturally, for you to achieve this, you can look at always signing up with PayHalal. That will be all. Thank you.
If you have any questions for Wan here, go ahead and leave them in the Q&A box. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to do that. So Wan, in the meantime, while we're waiting, how many hours of sleep did you get today?
Sorry?
How many hours of sleep did you get today?
We're looking at a couple of hours at max.
A couple hours, 3, 4, 5?
No, I was home at 3. I got to bed at barely around 4:30. I got up at 6.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I hope coffee has been sustaining you for the rest of the day today. Yeah,
Yes.
you've got a comment here that says like, please go rest after this in K1. Okay, so you guys, once again, if you have any questions regarding the topic, go ahead and leave them in the Q&A box. Let me just dismiss this from the last session. All right, there we go. It was pretty short though. It was nice and short and sweet.
Yep. I was expecting it to be a bit longer, but I think I just kind of overestimated myself.
You do know that you have a lot of time here actually left.
Yep. I just realized once I'm done, I was like, oh, I kind of like overestimated myself. And truth be told, this is my first webinar experience. So
Ah.
I'm going with just talking to myself. I didn't know, I can't gauge my audience.
Well, we've got a lot of time. Let me see. It's only about coming to 10:40, and like your session is supposed to end at 11:15. So in the
Yes.
meantime, once again, guys, if you have any questions for Juan here, just go ahead and leave that in the Q&A box. Now, Carlock here in the comments is saying, I prefer events in the hall as we got free food and drinks and Leviano. So I think he's missing like actual human interaction. We all do. We all do. Oh, okay, we got a question that just came in here. And this one is from Lin Hi, Lin I remember you from yesterday. So the question is, I'm Lin of Noah Cruise at Pushri Harbour Marina. Is there any halal network for river cruise and halal seafood restaurants?
So Halal Network, just to understand on Halal Network, you're looking at the group of people who are doing this for tourism. Yes, naturally for halal seafood, yes, there is always a group that is working on halal seafood. I've personally eaten in one in, where was it? Subang, towards arah Damansara there. And halal network for river cruise. River cruise is actually the first I've heard of right now. Okay, naturally, of course, we are at a point where even the government is exploring this area. So if you're looking at network itself, we already have halal seafood. All right. You want to start promoting in PayHalal perhaps? Okay. We are from network perspective. At the end of the day, I think it is something that to be established moving forward, because naturally even for kalau just give me a moment, yeah. Okay, so it is to be established. So at the end of the day, it's about someone being a pioneer or setting up with the right authority. At the end of the day, right now, with our political changes and also with the pandemic that we are facing, I think the network of building halal network or any other things are pushed to later priority, not current arrangement. So of course, Lenly, PayHalal at the end of the day, I'm not trying to do hard sell anyhow. So I'm just saying PayHalal at the end of the day will be happy to explore this further with you.
All right, so Lily, just go ahead and drop in an email. Oh yeah, how do we get in contact with you?
Okay, you can email me at wan@payhalal.my.
Okay, so perhaps you could leave that in the comment section. That would be great as well, so that
Yep,
way people
sure.
can get in touch with you. Carla will answer your question in just a minute, but for the rest of you who have any more questions regarding PayHalal, just keep them coming once again. I'll leave them in the Q&A box and we'll get right to it. So, okay, our next question is from Carla. Now, Carla would like to know, hi Juan, this PayHalal is able to accept global transactions, for example, direct conversion of currency?
Okay. I'm trying my best. I was told not to do a hard sell on PayHalal and whatnot. So I'm trying my best to understand where's the border right now. Okay, naturally, we currently operate only in Malaysia. Yes, we are able to accept transaction from anywhere around the globe, which will be automatically be converted to Malaysian ringgit once it comes over to your account over here in Malaysia. So the requirement is very simple for you to just have a local Islamic bank account. Naturally, any bank account would do, and the whatever settlement will come to you back in Malaysian ringgit. at the end of the day, of course, we are looking at exploring further to up to 35 different markets throughout globally.
35 different markets as in?
Different countries we are looking at. The closest we are looking at, of course, at the end of the day is Brunei and Indonesia. And further, of course, the end goal is to be able to use PayHalal in US itself.
All right, fantastic. What about the conversion rates then? How does that work?
Okay, currently, conversion rate is absorbed from the customer's end. Naturally, it's similar. It's similar to any payment gateway that we use out there. So when it comes to conversion, it's always at the customer end. On a merchant's perspective, on a client perspective, as a business person, what you have to bear is your transaction cost, which is naturally we can't push it back to customer.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So in addition to Carloc's question just now, he says that because I'm using Senang Pay, the Boomi payment gateway too, I found that they cannot accept global transactions. So PayHalal can.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, Lauren. From my end, I just saw 3 questions straight and I'm studying like, oh, what's happening?
Okay, just go to the one right at the top.
Okay.
So this one is from Sid Carlock at 10:41 a.m.
Senang Pay.
Yeah.
Okay. Kalau I just need further information on this, on not being able to accept the global transaction. Are we looking at you're unable to receive USD, or we are looking at you can't accept payment from anyone outside of Malaysia?
Okay, so Carlock, if you could just rephrase that for us, so we'll get back to that. Now this next one is from Darren. This is the second question here.
Do we have to
be let me read out for everyone who is tuning in right now. Do we have to be halal compliance business in order to utilize PayHalal services?
Okay, halal to use PayHalal services, yes, you have to. You either have to be halal certified in the areas where, of course, JAKIM can be certified. JAKIM does not certify the likes of clothing lines or cosmetic. I think they are just starting. Logistic, they are just starting on that. If in the event that there is no halal certification, we are looking at Sharia compliance certification, which can be obtained via mainly in Malaysia. You can obtain it from money or any other relevant third body parties that is doing the Sharia assessment. That is one of our requirements in order for you to be certified.
Okay. One, I just have to let you know that you are breaking up a little bit. Is everything all right on your end in terms of Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just got the notice. I just checked, so I should be all right now.
Okay, sure. Fingers crossed everything's all right. Or else worst come to worst, we'll just turn off your video, and that way the bandwidth wouldn't be taken up so much. But that's the last resort here. Okay, so we have a next question here. Now this one is asking about, can you elaborate more about halal media?
Okay, halal media over here, we're looking at perspective. We're looking at one, of course, at the end of the day, we're looking at media channels that is focusing on halal-centric matters, the likes of halal location, halal hub, halal products, and of course, naturally on the second end, it's more of instead of halal, it's of course at the end of the day, it's different opinion according to different regions and different states. Different countries. So what we're looking at halal or Sharia compliant media is at the end of the day, the modesty of it. So of course, you would see a lot lesser of HBO sort of movies. A clear example right now, we can look at 114 in Astro TV Al Hijrah. We are looking at that relevant scenario, and probably a lot lesser of US songs and movies that we are used to.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, those questions just give me a second. Okay. All right. We have one from Facebook Live here. Now the question is, can you share a little bit more on the subscription fee and the transaction fee?
Oh, okay. All right. We do not have any annual fee or setup fee. We only have transaction fee. Naturally, when you go to our website, payhalal.my, you look at published rate 2.6% plus RM1. And similar, I think this is out there, similar to any other payment gateway. At the end of the day, we are looking at volume. The higher your volume, the lower your fees. So of course, they can reach out further. I'll get one of my account managers to reach out to them.
Yes, please do. So if you could just drop your contact details on our Facebook live chat as well, that would be helpful, because we do have viewers on Facebook and we're currently on Zoom, so it's two different platforms. So the broader the reach, the better. All right. Let me see. Our next question is from Carlo as well. So hi Wan, yes, as I recently found out, some payment gateway direct converts the currency as there's no need to manually do it ourselves. For example, in USD. Meanwhile, your payment gateway is awesome. If you can go to e-wallet, will it be more helpful, especially in terms of going to the Pasar Malam?
Of course, at the end of the day, our target is to go into Pasar Malam. On direct convert the currency, yes, we are naturally when we are operating. Of course, this is coming back from regulation perspective and our sponsor bank perspective. When we are working with any local, not only local banks, but as we are operating in Malaysia, in order for us to have multi-currency, it's already a different arrangement. So naturally, a standard arrangement is when the money automatically be converted to that to Malaysian ringgit to localize that particular amount. Whereas Pasar Malam, yes, at the end of the day, PayHalal's target is, of course, to make your Pasar Malam shopping, your food truck, food buying, and everything simpler with our QR solution. So especially with the current scare that cash can spread COVID-19 potential and all that. It can be just hoax, but well, I'm quite a paranoid person, so I stopped carrying cash or even coins, So naturally, at the end of the day, we are looking at making the whole ecosystem to become digitalized, because one thing that we tend to forget is the likes of, I like to use this example, Makcik Kia. In fact, I used this yesterday in Perlis because that's the most popular one and people start paying attention. So per se now, Makcik Kia is selling goreng pisang, right? So at the end of the day, if we are able to digitalize Makcik Kia automatically will have a constant transaction in their bank account, which can be used to apply loan, be it for business expansion, new car or house and whatnot. So at the end of the day, we are making them being able to have bank record without affecting their daily business. Instead of them closing the business for 5 to 10 minutes, which will lose some sales, and they go over to CIMB and just banking the money, deposit the money. So we are trying to simplify that process. But yes, please look forward to us being in Pasar Malam.
I would look forward to that too. I can buy all the keropok leko, But yes, so this one coming from Carlo again. Now Carlo is saying, sorry to ask again, does your system accept installments if it's required by the customer?
So naturally, at the end of the day, you're looking at recurring payment, but split for one particular item. So this one, of course, we have to go back with our sponsor bank, naturally, being realistic. But however, yes, we can work something out when it is required on the installment perspective. It's just there would be some further details that are required, which I think once Carlo is able to reach our account manager, we can work something out.
All right, fantastic. Carlo, you don't have to apologize for asking questions. Like I mentioned before, we at Exabytes and SME Digital Fest 3.0, we love questions, so just keep them coming. We have a lot of time for this one. Okay, so going back to Lin Lee, now Lin Lee, about the collaboration. Lin Lee is basically asking, what about a Halal River cruise, perhaps? Would you be interested in that?
Oh, I would love that. Is the easiest way to, I think not only me, I think a lot of husbands out there would enjoy that. They just make it easier in order for them to, make things up with their wife. I mean, I got out of the house without my wife before my wife waking up today. So
Mhm.
if there is halal liver cruise, please hit me up personally. I may need to do some reservations.
All right. Well, let me keep that in mind, okay? If that's something you want to do, and don't forget to contact Juan here. So, okay, this one is from SK. Now, this one is in the comments here. Does PayHal accept dinar payment?
No. For now, no. It's I think dinar payment. If you are looking at the sense of us operating with having dinar payment option, no. But in sense of someone from Saudi want to make a payment, then yes.
Okay. This one is from Facebook as well. So, what is the pinpoint or the struggle for the business to get digitalized? Oh, sorry, not this one. My bad. I actually misread the question. Okay. All right. So what about the reception wise? Because, okay, we know that everything is being digitized right now. And I think a majority of the people that find it difficult to transition from the traditional way of payments to this whole new world, a digital world, is probably going to be the people who are a lot older, perhaps in the 50s, 60s, 70s. So what is the reception like for PayHalal?
Okay. Naturally, we are seeing quite a good acceptance. It's just that at the end of the day, for us to be realistic, not only from a halal perspective, but also from general perspective, is the awareness. At the end of the day, if we have a non-Muslim merchant, their concern is I personally had this one client who was asking, hey, do I have to convert to Islam in order for me to accept PayHalal? So we naturally have that lack of awareness. Of course, at the end of the day, you don't have to. It's not forced. For us, is halal certification, and the awareness to be out there that we are not only helping Muslim consumers or Muslim merchants, we are helping non-Muslim merchants. The standard example that I like to use is we are currently sitting in a viral age. So at one point, if I don't like the coffee that is served by Starbucks to me, perhaps probably I'm sleepy and it didn't knock my sleep off. All I need to do is just post in Facebook, hey, do you know that Starbucks is haram? They won't close down immediately the next day, but all of us know that there's a lot of people out there who's just going to share it, being paranoid. It's not wrong. I mean, it is wrong. They did not investigate that, but we are going by paranoia a lot these days. They are going to be affected up to 40% of their daily sales. So PayHalal is there. Of course, naturally, when PayHalal is there with the PayHalal verified logo, so when your payment can go through via PayHalal, which of course we have AI verifying if the item is halal or not, would actually build in further confidence, and is one of a risk mitigation method for us to have PayHalal to over there, so it builds confidence. I don't think so. The post is true. You know, I paid via PayHalal. It accepts.
Okay.
So
Yes, continue.
Technically, that is the challenge that we have currently building the awareness. But of course, I am also enlightened to talk about the generation gap. So we are talking in sense of we have this one group that probably know iPhone better than the iPhone makers themselves. And then we have this one group who, still sits with iPhone 4 probably. One thing about PayHalal is we try to make the whole thing as simple as possible, and I think quite a number of people are adapting to this, where we try to match the gap between these millennials and also the older generation. So it's not too fancy at the same time. It's not too backwards.
It's just functional enough, to get everything done. I
Yes.
understand that. Okay, so before I continue that question, I think because we have a lot of time, let's go ahead and ask all our attendees here. Maybe you could tell us in the comments what kind of difficulties you're facing in terms of digitizing your business. Let us know, and we'll see how PayHalal can actually come in and help you with that. So just go ahead and do that. tell us some of the difficulties you're facing right now, and we'll get back to you. Now, you talked about bridging the gap between the millennials and the older generations. Just going back to that, and I think like the main thing that makes it hard for us to do that is also from a security aspect. So perhaps you could elaborate a little bit more in terms of the contingency plans you have for PayHalal and how we can really make people feel safe by using this.
Sorry, we are talking about the security of people using PayHalal, right?
I mean the security, because like obviously there's money involved in this, and like for example, another brand, Touch and Go. The Touch and Go e-wallet, it's hard for people to from an old generation actually to convert to use that, because they're always afraid, oh, if I put my money in here, if I use this, will my data get stolen? From that kind of security aspect. So what does PayHalal have to offer?
You don't 100% need to store your money in PayHalal. So technically, you just pay through it. Using the same example, of course, I'm trying my best to not say that I'm competing with Touch and Go right now. But just, you're looking at brand X right now. Brand X requires you to top up that particular app and then proceed with the payment.
Yeah.
Whereas PayHalal does not require a top up. You want to top up, all right, that's good for you. You don't want to top up, it's fine. Just proceed with the payment. We just facilitate the particular payment. On security perspective, of course, at the end of the day, we are looking at the ever evolving technology. So being a compliance and risk person myself from that background. So at the end of the day, we have our periodical review, which is from quarterly up to annually to our systems. And since we are working with a sponsor bank, we are also having not only sponsor bank's limitation, we are looking at other mitigations in sense of our very own system. So there are pattern parameters, the parameters that is set to allow to make sure there is no any breach of data and also any potential card hacking. In this sense, is per se stolen card. So of course we are looking at the likes of your card, your spending behavior actually. Your spending behavior, of course, there's certain rule. Per se, you spend a certain X amount within X time, which is not as usual. Of course, that particular transaction will be stopped. And this not only with PayHalal, naturally with the customer's own bank account itself. Naturally, it works on both ends. So we believe that us putting our security back to back with the bank will help reduce further the issues.
All right, that's comforting to know, because that was actually like another question just came in. It's exactly the same thing I asked us now, and this one's from Michael. I think you already answered this. His question is, Michael here, how do you secure payment data through these changing times? And we've just touched on that. So is there anything else you'd like to add on, perhaps, to his question?
Well, at the end of the day, securing payment data is not a one-day work, or it's not a completed work. It is daily work in progress. I think we were aware of Macau scam, so that caught a lot of people off guard. This is in the event where there is a group of people calling you saying that we wrongly use your card. I use your phone number previously. The TAC number is there. Please share it to me. So a lot of people got caught off guard. Surprisingly, it's not only caught the older generation off guard. We even can see cases where students lost their money based on this and everything. So at the end of the day, of course, there's two levels to it. Theoretically, as I mentioned earlier, and on practical sense, or even on daily sense, is from risk angle. We do conduct IT risk management. We look into our penetrations, what is our penetration tank, and at the end of the day, we're looking at the PCI DSS standard that is set already in the market. We are pretty secure enough.
I'm pretty sure you guys are. Okay, so I think let's give them a little bit more time. So guys, I think we can spare you about maybe another 3 to 5 minutes, to key in your questions. So we'll just wait here and chat in the meantime. So once again, for those who are watching on Facebook and on Zoom, welcome once again. This is the SMA Digital Fest. We're currently at our third speaker right now. We're talking about the Islamic economy trend, and on screen right now we have the Deputy General Manager of PayHalal. One is joining us here. So if you'd like to know a little bit more about PayHalal, just drop us your questions and we'll get right to it. Okay, we answered quite a few questions, and let's see if there are any in the comments right now. I think some of our attendees are pretty set. They have their heart set on the cruise idea. They like that. Okay, so this one is from Wen Ong. Hi. Wait, let me see. Oh, okay. I don't know why this came back. This is actually from the previous session, so let's just dismiss that. Okay. So yes, what are your plans for later? Are you planning to just end this live stream and go straight to bed?
No. I have quite a number of things to complete today. So, when I was in Petronas, or even when I was in PayPal, when I always see my bosses traveling, I'll be like, you're living the life, you get to travel. So, and then when I started traveling, I realized, right, on top of the travel time, you still have your 8 hours work time that you have to complete. So when they were telling me, it's like, no, it's tiring. You don't look at that you're traveling. You're actually working. I will say, yeah, you just don't want me to aim that. And now it's like how right they are. If they are watching this, yes, you were right.
Well, do you know if they are watching right now?
Hopefully, I think that's enough.
I think a lot of us, we tend to want to grow up too fast, and we aspire to do a lot of things well beyond our years, which is not necessarily a bad thing, in a way. But I think there are some things that we have to realize take time, and sometimes it's just good to slow down and, enjoy the ride as it comes.
Exactly.
Let me see. Okay, let me see. I think this one is a question. Okay, just give me like 2 seconds here. Okay, I think we can ask this. All right, so this one's from Marianne here. Now, Marianne's question, or the statement is, now you ask the older generations to adhere to the RMCO or SOPs, and they are struggling because, they're using smartphones to scan QR codes and fill out forms online. And they would rather fill out the book. Do you think they'll be confident enough to use the e-wallet services, for example, PayHalal, and know that their money will be refunded or banked into them at a later date? What do you think?
See, at the end of the day, right? I do have a lot of this conversation with a lot of my peers on the adaptation, and of course, the older generation prefer to fill up the book and whatnot. See, at the end of the day, right? Let's look back from where Facebook started. They said, "Oh, this is a new generation's time and everything." And all I know, 1 year later, my mom is more active in Facebook than I am. So it's about habit. So we let's not forget the fact that the older generation naturally do not use a lot of phone, not because they are not capable of it. It's more of because they prefer the human connection. So I managed to have a conversation with one of my uncle's friend. Coincidentally met him after a few years when I was withdrawing money. So I saw him waiting in the line. So I just say, "Uncle, remember me? My name is Sulwan. I'm so and so's nephew. So and so's cousin, and his father is your friend and whatnot." So I asked him, "What are you doing here?" So he's like, "Oh no, I came in to deposit money." So it's like, "Is it a big amount? Like, you want, I can help you over. The queue is long. I can help you over in CDM. I mean, we can do it." Well, and then he moved on. He said, it's not about me queuing up. It's not about me not being able to deposit the money. I know how it works. It's just that this particular guy, he knows how I need things, and he knows what I need. He's been working with me for the past couple of years, I suppose. So he knows exactly the whole thing. So it's about the human connection. But naturally, at the end of the day, we thought we couldn't stay at home. We were wishing for a day in between Saturday and Sunday. Then we thought we couldn't survive, we couldn't stay at home. And then now we are maintaining a social distance fine. Suddenly not all places is not necessity to us. So I think at the end of the day, it's about the selection and it's about the adaptation itself. It's not necessarily millennials can cope, older generation can't cope. No, I personally don't believe in that. I've seen older IT executive being way better than some of my peers. So I'm sorry, I personally don't believe in that. I think it's at the end of the day we are looking at human connection, which is true. When I sit with my peers, if we are sitting together for 40-minute session of makan-makan, 20 minutes is gone by us scrolling through our Facebook, not talking to each other.
Oh.
So, so at the end of the day, I think we have to appreciate the fact that the older generations know how to do it, but prefer not to.
That's true.
That is the barrier that we need to, figure a way to break down to.
But then again, I suppose it's also not impossible to get them to adopt it at a certain point. So I think just like us, like younger generation, we take time to learn things, and I think that applies to them as well. To be fair to them as well. I think they do take time to adapt to everything that's new in our world. I mean, you can't blame them at a certain point. But yes, Juan, I think we can actually wrap up our session now. I know it's a little bit short and we had a lot of questions, but we managed to pull through. So thank you so much for coming along and spending the day with us here. And you're more than welcome to stay on for the rest of the day. We still have a panel discussion and one final speaker, but to everyone else who's watching, let's give him a virtual round of applause, a big virtual hand. Juan, thank you so much. I wish you all the best, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Exabytes. Grow your business online.